So the history of F Sharp. It was created by Microsoft in 2005, and it was originally created to run with a framework that was made by Microsoft called the .NET framework. Since then, it's able to run on several different development environments such as Xamarin, Mono, Visual Studio, and a few other development platforms. Overall, though, the language still isn't widespread and not well supported. F Sharp is a purely functional programming language. So in F Sharp, there are many types allowed: arrays, tuples, strings, and you can declare these, use these just like any other programming language. And there's also several language concepts that are used, such as operator overloading, pattern matching, and it also has really good exception handling. There's also a weird inheritance that you can use in F Sharp. It seems to only be used so that you can move some code over from a more object-oriented language into F Sharp. So it's good to know that you have the option to do that if you wish. Overall, it's a very difficult language to work with. Some parts of the language were interesting, but not extremely useful. This is because the language isn't well supported basically anywhere, and it's really difficult to find tools to help you learn how to program in the languages and find resources for it. There's just not a lot of information out there about the language. So it's really tough to get into and tough to learn about how it works and how to program in it.
The idea for our program has gone through a lot of phases. Unfortunately, these phases led us far from what we originally planned. At first, we wanted to create a grade calculator for a website that had both student and teacher accounts, but we weren't able to figure out how to implement F Sharp on the web. Wesley was able to find what seemed like a promising solution for mobile applications, however, so we changed our focus to that. After weeks of struggling to figure this solution out, we decided to cut out a GUI altogether and just figure out the language and create a simple program using the F Sharp interactive tool on Visual Studio. Our program requires the user to write code themselves in Visual Studio, so we wrote a set of instructions to walk them through the process. First, the user must create a variable for each type of grade with its corresponding weight. These weights should add up to 100. Once the variables are created, Step 2 requires them to be put into the array called weights. Now the user must input all of their assignments using the format provided in the example, as well as an array for each type. If there are no assignments for the type yet, the array must still be created. Steps 5 and 6 ask the user to plug in the arrays and weights into special equations in order to calculate the final grade. For example, we have a type score earned and a type score possible, and those are both placed into arrays. Finally, once that is all done, the user will highlight everything on the page, right-click, hit Execute in Interactive, and view their weighted grade. So he right-clicks, hits Execute in Interactive, we go to the Interactive, and then the total weighted grade is shown there at the top. So he got a 90. All the instructions, again, are laid out in a nice, easy way, even though you have to write your own code for the program, which is not what we wanted to do at first. One of the main parts that make this program work is the record type we created for assignments. It allows for easy access to the points earned and the points possible. These points are used in the functions created between steps 4 and 5. Here, we determine the scores for assignments and get rid of any unused types. To get the final grade, we sum up all the points earned that are saved in an array, divide it by the points possible, and multiply by 100 to get the percentage.